Yeah, we're on.
Perfect.
So, hang on, I'll come down. Just come down and sit here. It's a bit closer to that. Perfect. So, what I'm telling everyone is that the only conversation that people need to be having is understanding what the antidote is.
Correct.
And do you know what the antidote is? Us. That's it.
This.
This is part of it. But because the mind is part of it, but there's a bigger thing, and it's the mind, body, and spirit. That's the thing that I want to be talking about, is understanding these three elements and understanding that if something's out of whack, something's out of balance, we're not plugging into our potential.
No.
So yeah, mate, dude. I mean, let's just jump straight into it. But what do you want to get across? Let's get our points. What do you want to get?
Yeah. So for me, I've had the same thing. Like literally, despite everybody cancelling their events left, right, and centre, we actually have an event. I have an event tomorrow in Wembley, and it hasn't been cancelled purely because we've had all the business owners going like, we want to come because we need help. Like we need to know how to pivot and adapt our businesses to what's going on. And I'm like, great. In that case, as long as you guys are good with no high fives and no handshakes and all that kind of shit, then we're good. Personally, I vibrate on a different frequency, so I'm not really giving a shit about contracting anything from no one, because I'm on a different level. But I'm conscious other people are worried about it. So we're still running the event. We've just contacted the hotel. We've asked them to space everybody out, so classroom style, 1 chair per desk, and all that kind of. And they're going, should we put alcohol rub? And I'm like, well, it doesn't do fuck all anyway. But if you want to, stick, give it to them if you want. But we're still going ahead with our event purely because people need help to adapt. And whilst for me, you know this anyway, bro. Like I work with business owners. I'm not in the get rich quick industry. I'm not in the wealth creation industry, as it were. As much as I love the guys in the syndicate. I love all of them. I'm not in that field. I'm in a different field. I'm working with business owners. I'm working with entrepreneurs. I'm working with people who want to grow and scale and actually extract themselves from the business. So that's what I do. So people are coming because they want advice. They want to know, how are we going to pivot out of this situation? How are we going to adapt our businesses? Because it doesn't mean business stops. It means there's a blessing in this. So how do we pivot from that? So that's why we're running our event. We're going ahead tomorrow. And I just wanted to share, obviously, with your audience and you with my audience. We just share what we can do collaboratively. Now, you and I both know it doesn't matter what fucking strategy I teach someone. This is not firing on all cylinders. It doesn't matter. So they are in a big scarcity. Yeah.
Let's expand what you were saying, because so many people are, there's no doubt mindset is powerful. Having the right type of mindset, you can either focus on the solution or you can focus on the problem. You can't have the split viewpoint. Your space is going to be taken up with one or the other.
Absolutely.
Is that yes, we need the mind to focus on what's possible, and that means that we've got to have a belief system change. We've got to change what things mean to us. What this virus means to a lot of people at the moment is the end. It means disconnection. It means I'm now cutting myself off from life as I know it. Now, they can approach that in one or two ways. They can be empowered by it, or they can be disempowered. Most people are now being disempowered. And the only way that I've learned that we can truly be empowered, and when people get empowered, their immunity goes up, their mood goes up, their energy goes up, how fast they learn goes up, what they create goes up, what they produce goes up. All of the good stuff starts to go up into these higher frequencies where we can go into these higher states of consciousness, and we can start to literally absorb things from what I call like supreme intelligence, whatever you want to call it, life, universe, and source energy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
If we don't have the body, the mind, and the spirit working in harmony, then what might be hurting the body can hurt the mind. Now, let me give you an example of how insane life has got. I don't go in supermarkets very often, but I spoke to my sister the other day. And I went to buy some cans, and they would only let me buy 2 cans. And she went, all the pasta had sold out, and everything she was talking about was processed, dead crap.
Correct.
If we want to be alive, we've got to learn how to put live stuff in our body.
Correct.
I went and I spent about an hour, and I just walked in as many supermarkets as I could in the area where I was. And she was right. All the toilet rolls had gone. All the canned stuff had gone. All the pre-packaged food stuff had gone. And I'm standing in the section where there's live foods. Dude,
fresh foods.
as packed as you could get.
Yeah.
No one's taken the live stuff. Instead of dealing with the now, right, what can I do right now that's going to empower my body? What can I do right now that's going to empower my mind? What can I do now that has my spirit breathing through me so that I can go and do whatever I need to do in life to take my life to the next level and beyond? Most people aren't thinking that anymore. They're going in. And this is why, you know, the people who turn up to your event, what they're going to get is you on a concentrated level, because you're like me, you're usually split between so many people at these events.
Correct.
Now, the people that show up, you're going to be able to go and give them more focus. So who are going to be the winners? The ones that stay at home.
Correct.
The ones that are still on the field playing the game.
Absolutely. Every person who's out there playing the game is going to be winning. Anyone who's contracted and gone into scarcity mode, they're going to die, unfortunately. Yeah, and that's
I'd like to.
Yeah.
And you're right. If they don't die on a physical level, they're dying on a mental level.
Correct.
And that's still death.
That to me, that's worse.
We just have to look at all these mental health problems that are circulating around the world. And that's because there's an imbalance between the body, the mind, and the spirit. When we were, let's just like take a bit of common sense. When we were kids, we had these qualities. Now let's just take a little bit of common sense. Your children have more energy than most adults.
Yeah.
Children have a lot more joy and natural laughter and love more than most adults.
Yeah.
Children learn faster than most adults.
Of course they do.
Children play more than most adults. Do children live in the moment more than most adults? Do children create more than most adults? You look at what kids do when they get up. They just start doing stuff. They're not stopping themselves with a mind that's judging itself.
No.
All these mental qualities we all had. They're inbuilt in us. The challenge is we've been programmed by systems and societies that are broken. And what they programmed us with isn't sustainable. So what I believe that we're going through with this virus is this could be the biggest wake-up call humanity has ever experienced, because the ones that get connected to the truth are going to find their freedom. The ones that stay in fear, the ones that are not really doing anything with their lives now, they're going to go in one direction, and we know that ain't going to be life producing. The ones that want to wake up, what they're going to start to do is feed themselves in the right way. And you've got to feed the body in the right way. And it's not just about the foods we eat, it's how you move your body. It's, have I got the right thoughts that are going to feed my body a good energy?
Correct.
What am I putting in my mind? Because what you put in your mind, you can only regurgitate. So what's going in people's minds is the fear. So guess what's coming out? The fear. So, and then the spiritual aspect of what we are is, this is having that spirit that children have, that unbreakable spirit that if they want something, children get it.
They are obsessed with their outcome.
And imagine if the entrepreneurs that you were teaching, if the people that I teach, imagine if they was obsessed with the outcome. Guess what? They're going to get the outcome every single time, because they're plugged into the truth. And what a lot of this is in that truth, what breathes through people is different to how they've been programmed. It breeds a different type of reality. Like you saw, like with Greg Secker, who came on my retreat in Spain.
Yes.
This guy is worth £100 million. He's helicopter, fleet of cars, £8 million house, grand holidays on a regular basis, but he lost himself and he was chasing everything. So he chased the money, he got it. He chased the family, he got it. He chased whatever he chased, he got it. But the challenge was he never got connected to the truth within himself. So what he was bringing to the table was something, a human that had been programmed by systems that was broken. And he wondered why, how come this part of me is broken?
Yeah.
And it was only because no one had been able to connect him to the truth. And what he said was, in him finding that truth is where we found freedom.
Disconnected from that.
Yeah. And we all, this is what I want people to understand, that we all have the answers within us, but you're not going to get the answers by having a body that's numb. You're not going to get the answers by having a mind that's stressful. You're not going to get the answers by going into fear. You're not going to get the answers by listening to all of this craziness that's going on around the world now. Like, you can't even step into a room now anywhere without people talking about coronavirus. I've never witnessed anything like this ever.
Mad. Like, I was at the gym this morning, and obviously it's like a freaking ghost town, clearly, because nobody wants to go, and the few people that were there can only talk about one thing. I'm like, hey, we're in the gym to progress our bodies, and we're talking about shit. Like I don't want to hear it. I literally don't want to hear it. Like, you know, it's mad. But
look at what you're doing. That's the strategy that, because how we do one little thing is how we do everything.
Right.
And what you're saying is, guys, I don't even want this information coming in here because we know it's going on. But as an entrepreneur, as somebody who I know deeply cares for people, and you genuinely want to help people to get to their next level and beyond, the only way they can really do that and enjoy the journey and have it be sustainable is when we're connected to the truth. Like, there's a truth around life. Like, if I throw my phone up, do I know it's going to come down every single time I throw it up?
Well, of course you do.
Right. Does it matter who throws it up?
No, it does not. It's going to come down.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what mood the person's in when they throw it up.
It's still going to come down, right?
It's a child that throws it up or someone who's a grandparent.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We're going to get the same result every single time because it's science and it's law. When we start to plug people back into this truth, into the laws of the universe, into the laws of our planet, all of a sudden a different truth starts breathing through people. And the first thing that's going to shift is their mind. Then what's going to shift is their body. Then what's going to shift is the amount of wisdom that starts to breathe through them. And then any area of their life, whether it's in their personal life or their business life, guess what? Life breeds life, and energy creates energy. And they start to put life and energy in their mind and body. They start to put it in their relationships. They put it in their business. They put it into any area. And whatever level they're playing at, bam, bam, bam. It's a cause and effect. They start to go at these high frequencies. And when you get in that high frequencies, you become a better leader, a better lover, a better parent, a better brother, just a better person.
Just a better human being, man.
Exactly.
And I feel all of that, you know. So, you know what we should do? Let's get this recorded. And like, I know you're recording your end. What I was going to do is record on my end. Like, the best way, I guess, to position it is just say, look, like, you know, you and I decided to put heads together and add some value to everybody out there.
What's your event? Because I'll talk about your event as well. What is it?
Oh, your signal keeps breaking up, buddy. Can you hear me? Your Wi-Fi keeps dropping in and out. I don't know if it's the.
It says I'm on full signal.
Yeah, it keeps breaking up every now and then. I mean, it's patchy, but it comes back in. So I'm just conscious if we're recording, I want to make sure it's all good. Wi-Fi. If it does work, or are you tethering off the phone?
No, I'm on the phone. I'm on the Wi-Fi here.
You're on the Wi-Fi. Sometimes if the Wi-Fi is not great, then tethering off your phone will give a stronger signal.
Oh, okay.
If you want to give that a go, man.
I don't know if it's going to work. Right, are we there? Right, did that work?
Groups, but then stick it on YouTube as well, on my YouTube channel, and then email my list and database to the link to watch these.
Okay, well, what we decided yesterday, this might really be good for your list, is there's a program called a High Performance Mind Masterclass, which we spent about 25K putting it together. I've charged people thousands for it in the past. We're giving it away because of this whole Corona thing. I said to the team, right, I'm giving away the High Performance Mind Masterclass. And they're like, what, are you crazy? I'm like, guys, this is what we do. In this moment now, people need this. There are people being at home quarantined. And I know what I did for my mum. My mum would be dead if she wasn't living the way that she lives now. And I know that there's people like her, who she was before, and they can be sitting at home watching the news, going into more fear. I'd rather have them sit and watch these masterclasses and be able to apply things straight away that improves them immediately. So if you want, what I can do is I can give you a link that they can go through, and they can have all 4 masterclasses for free.
Yeah, perfect. That's brilliant. Let's do that. I think the guys will get a lot of value from it anyway. And like you said, everyone's quarantined at home. I mean, internet usage is up clearly at the moment. People are streaming stuff, so they might as well stream some good stuff, right?
Exactly. Cool.
So, brilliant. Right, let me hit record on this end. 3, 2, 1. Cool. Okay, we are live. It's Jessen here, and I'm joined by the main man himself, the miracle man, as he's referred to, Mr. Skip Archimedes. How you doing, brother?
Dude, I'm awesome. Thank you so much, bro. And I just want to start this off by saying, in this time of challenge, in this time where there's so much fear, this is what I really want people to understand, because this is the truth. Even though they named me at an age of the miracle man, the truth is everyone's the miracle. I'm no different from you, the next person. What we have within us is beyond measure.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about in boosting up our own immunity, because right from the word go, what I want people to understand is that everyone's talking about the vaccine for coronavirus. The only antidote that people need to focus on is what are they doing right now in their life to boost up their own immunity, because the ones who are going to be taken out by the virus, and it doesn't have to be just this virus, in 3 to 5 years, the next virus is going to come around, and then the next one. We see the pattern happening again and again and again. And it doesn't matter whether they call it cancer, diabetes, I don't care if any of the 10,000 listed diseases that are out there, if we have a high immunity, whatever comes in, the body's defenses deals with it, and it pushes it straight out the system. And I don't care what the name is. So what we've got to learn how to do through this time is, instead of sitting there watching the news going into more fear, instead of now having more conversations with more people going more fear, being isolated from life as we know it, use this time to learn how freaking powerful that thing is that you live in on a daily basis. That's the only thing that is with you from the day you're born until the day that you pass. Your mind, your body, and your spirit. You relearn how to connect with those 3 elements through this time. Anyone who's watching this now, you will come out empowered. So use it as a stepping stone to greatness. That's what I say.
So, man, listen, I completely resonate with absolutely everything that you say. Because look, I work with business owners and entrepreneurs, and I've got lots of people contacting me at the moment, panicking because, like, look, I mean, even in the news today, like the first casualty, high street casualty is Laura Ashley. Laura Ashley's going out. They're out. They're done, right? And, and that is the first casualty of this madness, which is this kind of recession, whatever you want to call it. And that's a big company. Now, what about the smaller companies, the smaller business owners, the entrepreneurs? Now, I've got a lot of people reaching out to me for help. And I'm running an event tomorrow still, even though people have said not to run events. But I believe people like you and I, we have a duty to serve, and we've got a duty of care. And if people reach out to you to help, brother, we've got to do that, right? So I know I'm going to go and share with them some strategies about how they can pivot and adapt their business, because this is an exciting time for business owners. But one of the things I'm getting asked a lot, or I'm seeing, is people are coming to me with a scarcity mindset. What would you tell people in this situation?
So, first of all, what we've got to understand is that there are certain laws that govern our game of life. And just as I explained earlier, there's a law called gravity. If I throw that up, does everybody 100% with 100% certainty, they know it's going to come back down?
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what mood I'm in. It doesn't matter what my belief is. It doesn't matter whether I'm old or young, big or small, black or white. None of that matters. If any of us throw something up, we know it's going to come down because of the law of gravity.
Correct.
Well, there's a thing called law of attraction. And what that means is, let me explain law of attraction in a way that everybody understands Google, because everyone's talking about law of attraction, but they understand it from an intellectual level. But then I look at their lifestyle, they understand it, but they're not living it.
No.
So I'm like, okay, so where's the imbalance? And usually the imbalance is in the mind, because our minds have been programmed by society that is broken. Our minds have been programmed by systems that are broken. So this is why a lot of people's minds are broken. We're seeing mental health problems. We're seeing somebody coming up to you with a scarcity attitude, with a lack attitude, with a victim mentality. what all of those things are, they're very, very low frequency. So if we look at life like energy has waves. Everything in life has waves. And what we do in life is we learn how to navigate through this journey of life. Sometimes we're going to be at the top of the wave and everything's going to be going so smoothly. Sometimes you're going to fall off your board and you're going to be under the freaking wave, caught in a rip, under the water, trying to get up just to breathe some air. All of these things are going to happen. The challenge is, if we come at something with a lack mentality, with a poor me mentality, with a scarcity mentality, what we're doing is straight away we are out of balance with law. So if I go and type something in Google, because there's an effect, a cause and effect, if I type success in Google, I can only get files on success because that's what I'm searching for. I'm not going to type in success and have something to do with headphones come up. You know, I put it out there and it comes back.
Get what you look for.
Type in pain, same search engine, same person. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get files back on pain. Now, what I've learned how to do is to plug people into the truth. So imagine that you are a plug and you're going to go and plug into poor me. That's what you're going to get connected to, poor me. So if someone goes and asks a question of, which is to do with scarcity, immediately their whole world is scarcity, because where focus goes, energy flows, and their energy is flowing into the problem. So now what's happened is they've been sucked into that plug and their whole world is the problem. And they can't see the solutions because now they're trapped in the low frequency. The way that we go into because you can't think your way into the high frequencies, is what I want people to understand. It's like if you got a problem, you ain't going to think your way out of the problem because it was the thinking that got you into the problem. So the only way that we can be balanced and we can start to make these decisions where this universal intelligence, where life at a high level, or this supreme source energy, God, whatever you want to call it, if you want that breathing through you, the first thing you've got to do is understand that we have a responsibility. And people hate that word, responsibility. Hate having responsibilities on their shoulders. But if you want to be financially free, you've got to love having responsibility, because people say, oh, I wish I had less responsibility. I'm like, no. Don't ask for less responsibility. Ask for more strength. Ask for more balance. Ask for more of you.
Yes.
So that this responsibility or these demands can come in and you just deal with it. You just deal with it. There's no problem. We just deal with it. But the challenge is, if they're not fueling up their body in the right way, if they're not fueling up their mind in the right way, if they're not fueling themselves up on a spiritual level, guess what? They're going to be disconnected from the truth, and they're going to start to ask disempowering questions. And if you ask a disempowering question, especially when it's to yourself is going to give you a disempowering answer. So someone like, being a coach like yourself, the first thing that we've got to change is their belief system. They've got to start believing what's possible.
100%.
In these times where we're seeing businesses go down, we're going to see the economy go down, we're going to see life as we know it changing. There will be more millionaires and billionaires and people who create financial freedom made in these times. Because instead of people going back and being cut off, people like you and I, we're like, now it's time for us to drop a gear, put down even harder, and now we freaking go, because the people need it. Because at the times now, what are they absorbing? Fear. What are they absorbing? Lack mentality. Yeah. What are they absorbing? Companies going down. And if you're a small business owner, you're like, oh my God, Lara Ashley's just gone down. What chance do we have? And if that becomes your vibe in your company, guess what? Your company could be soon next. So the first thing we've got to be able to do is focus on what is possible from a positive point of view.
Correct.
As soon as you can find that, then all of a sudden we're going to know, okay, we can step this way, then we can step that way. And all of a sudden we start stepping in the right direction. And then what happens is this momentum starts to create, and it's just like a snowball that starts as a tiny little snowball at the top of the mountain. And as it gets down, it picks up more speed, more momentum. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So people have got to decide now, what do you want to grow more of? Do you want to grow more fear? Do you want to grow more finances? Do you want to grow more immunity? Do you want to grow more strength? Do you want to grow more isolation? Because whatever they're doing, whether they're conscious of it or not, that's the question. So what your job and what my job is to bring clarity to the table where people are freaking out at the moment. We'll say, guys, let's just get them on balance first. Let's get things in a position where we can be balanced. And when we can be balanced, the decisions that we make from that place are going to serve us at the highest level, because any decision that gets made from fear or lack mentality or being a victim isn't going to serve anyone. So
nothing good comes from that state, right? Nothing good comes from that state. And that's what I've been telling a lot of these business owners is that, look, it starts with changing your language as well, because a lot of them are using these language patterns that are not serving them, right? And so like tomorrow, for example, I'm going to be sharing some strategies and some advice with people at my event on how they can pivot their business, adapt, take advantage of the trend. And like you said, how can we drop again and floor it, in these times of uncertainty, because the people who are in the game win, right? And I love all of that. I love strategy, but my biggest passion, as it were, is helping people uncover and get rid of the blockages that are happening within them on a mental and spiritual level, which is why I love this discussion. And we could talk all day about this, right? And I love this. And I think what we need to look at is, let me ask you this, because there's lots of different people watching this or listening to this right now who are all respectively on different frequencies and wavelengths. So there are people who completely get what you're saying and are with it, and they understand spirituality, they understand law of attraction, they understand all of that. There are people that have heard about it and think that we're a bunch of nutters, and there are and there are people who this is completely new, right? And so if we had to break this down, like, let's say, like, because you know this as well as I do, when someone's in a state of panic, in a state of shock, or a state of despair, their logic goes out the window, right? So it becomes harder for them to make decisions because their mind's cluttered. It's like when someone's in shock, like they've just crashed in a car and an ambulance turns up and they don't even know their name because they're in that, they're so disconnected from their unconscious mind that they can't even recall their name. So people are kind of vibrating on that frequency at the moment. So if you had to say what you just said, like in layman terms, like give people, like, I don't know, like what's like 3 things people could do right now to kind of change their frequency, as it were, because they're all like on this autopilot of listening to the media, right? So like, what tips can you give someone they're just starting out in this, as in they're, it's, I don't want to sound like a dick, but I'm going to be very honest. It's like when shit goes wrong, that's when people find religion, right? And they find spirituality, like, oh God, help me, right? It's too late now, right? But what could you do to someone, like, or for someone who had never thought about this stuff before, or have never thought about the different levels that we vibrate on? What could you practically tell them, a beginner, to do right now? That would be really useful.
Really good question. So the first thing, because it's not a few minutes conversation, I want to give them 3 tips.
Yeah.
The first thing that I would do is say that there's going to be a link somewhere around this. I suggest that they click that link.
Yeah.
Gifting away. This is what I said to you literally just before this conversation.
Yes, you are.
We spent about 25K putting together this high performance mind masterclass series that, people pay thousands for. We made a decision, with the team that I'm going to give it away for free. And by giving it away for free, it's because people need it. And you've heard that the secret of living is giving. The first person we've got to learn how to give to is ourselves. So the first thing is we got to be responsible for ourselves. No one can be responsible for our thoughts. No one can be responsible for our action taken. No one can be responsible for what we focus on unless we give them that power. So the first thing is we got to have a belief that we can take back our power and we can be limitless in whatever we want to create in this game of life. Yeah. So by them clicking that link, they're going to get 4 masterclasses where I'm going to be, each one's about an hour. They're all produced so that they'll see video testimonials of people and they won't believe what they see, because we're literally creating miracles. We are manifesting things at super high speed to do with the body, the mind, finances, relationships, all the areas of life that we connect to. And by going through all of those 4, what they're going to get connected to is the truth. And in that truth, we find the freedom. Because we're so disconnected from the truth in today's world that the truth is not fear. The fear is an illusion. Now, the coronavirus is very serious. There's no doubt about it. People like you and I, we've got high immunity. We're not going to catch it, but we could be carriers, and we could go into contact with someone who has a weaker immune system. It can come out of us and go into them, and all of a sudden they're in a problem. So we need to honor that truth. Now, here's what I suggest people doing.
Correct.
Send that link to your parents, because if you're over 70 years old now, you're quarantined. You're not even allowed out your own house. So,
Yes.
so what happens is these people are, you know, our parents, grandparents are sitting home watching the news, going into more fear, watching soap operas where there's more drama, watching the problem. And that is programming us to be weaker and weaker and weaker in all areas of our lives. When we get empowered, instant freedom, complete freedom, because now you're connected to infinite intelligence or source wisdom, God, whatever you want to call it. There is a creator behind this game of life. And when we can connect to that, what breathes through you, it's like having a phone that's on 1% and you're freaking out because you can't get connected. And now you've gone and lost your Wi-Fi connection. You're like, oh! And all of a sudden someone goes, oh, you've got to change your Wi-Fi connection. Boom, you plug in, you get connected to the truth, you got that energy, you can get the download, everything's sweet as. We can dial in and connect in a heartbeat to this truth. And it's the same type of energy that makes the sun shine. It's the same type of energy that makes your heart beat. It's the same type of intelligence that you're made of anything between 50 and 100 trillion cells. A year from now, most of the physical cells in your body, they're brand new cells. So what that means is you're regenerating every year. Yes. The challenge is, are you regenerating as a new improved version of yourself? Or are you regenerating in a way where you're aging faster, you're getting sick and tired, you're getting the aches and pains, things start shutting down in the body, whether it's the liver, whether it's your eyes, whether it's your ears, whether it's your smell or your taste. We're getting number and number and number the more disconnected we get from the truth. And all of it comes down to people's lifestyle habits. This has nothing to do with people's genes, has nothing to do with the genetic code. And what we're now proving on a scientific level, and I said this 12 years ago and I got attacked, we're re-encoding people's DNA. So when you re-encode people's DNA, what you're doing is you're re-encoding yourself away from these systems that you might have been brought into, habits that you might have been, traditions that might have been handed down from generation to generation, and it's got weaker and weaker and weaker. And what they're now saying is that the children that are born in today's world are going to be buried by their parents. Yeah. And that the only reason for that is that we're disconnected from this truth. That's not me saying it. It's the World Health Organization saying it. So 3 tips that people can do immediately, right now. Let's make this make common sense. I want people to, because if someone is a skeptic to this, this is just going to be total.
This is why I asked this question, because I believe because we have a duty of care, we shouldn't write people off who don't understand. It's our duty to help them understand and make educated, informed choices about what we're about to tell them. So, you know, when you break it down that way, now it's over to them, because it goes back to what you just said, which is, look, we've got to take responsibility. Like for me, none of my clients' success is actually my responsibility. It's theirs. I'm just a catalyst, right? So this is the same for them. Like if anyone's listening to this right now and you don't actually agree or believe or are finding it hard for this to go into your head, I would urge you to ask yourself, what's the alternative right now? Because clearly the strategy you're using at the moment isn't serving you. So my advice would be stay open, stay coachable, and listen to these 3 tips. So let's have them, Skip. Let's have these 3 tips.
Nice. So we now know if we go into fear, then what happens to our frequency, and we can measure frequency. So this isn't some weird woo-woo stuff.
Wow.
When you're in a higher frequency, you're more alert, you're more switched on, you make faster decisions, faster, better decisions, you can retain more, you can see more of the bigger picture, you don't get caught up in the poor me story, your immunity goes up, your energy levels goes up, you know, everything that's good goes on the up and up. However, when we stress or we go into fear, what's the first thing the physical body cuts off?
When you go into fear, the first thing that the physical body cuts off.
What is it?
You tell me, brother. I've got.
We now know we can go months without food, scientifically proven. You know, I've got people that I've had them that they've gone over a year without any type of food, and this is like the new wave, because a lot of the foods that people eat nowadays, it's dead, it's acidic, and it's putting toxicity in the body. So we now know we can go months without food.
Yeah.
We can go days without water, and we're mostly made of water.
Yes.
But we go minutes without oxygen, liver cells shut down, brain cells shut down, and all of a sudden the mechanics of the body start shutting down. So The first thing when anyone goes into fear or they go into stress is, instead of doing like deep diaphragmatic breaths here and you're going,
yeah,
what happens is they stop filling up their cup from the bottom up and they start doing these short, shallow breaths. And the number one cancer that no one's talking about, everyone's talking about coronavirus, they're talking about other cancers, but the number one cancer that's killing people around the world that's not even spoken about is what? Lung cancer.
Lung cancer.
And you've heard the saying, use it or lose it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you want a strong body, you want strong biceps, you've got to put a demand on it. You put a big demand on it, it's going to swell up, it's going to get stronger. But the challenge is, people have believed that they're weak. People have stopped putting these demands on themselves. So and the body gets weak because of decreased workload. So what we've got to do is get back to an increased workload to remember what we did when we were children. Now, anyone who's sitting there going, oh, but I can't move, I'm an old, you know, I'm a grandparent. Great. What you can do right now is, for the next 3 minutes, just start breathing here.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you get the oxygen in the body. Don't worry about breathing in for 4, holding for 8 out. Don't worry about any technique. Just get the oxygen in the body. The cells don't care how it comes in.
They just want it in.
Oxygen. So what happens is, most people, when they go into fear, that stress creates acid around the body. That acid is going to break us down. Break us down from the inside out. It lowers the immunity. It will create acid. Now, here's the kicker, what people need to understand. If we're creating acid in our lifestyle choices, and that will come from processed foods, it will come from meat, dairy, fish, it will come from stress, it will come from environmental stress. All of this stress that's coming in creates acid. If that acid gets in the blood, which it does for most people, every time your heart beats, guess what the heart does? It pumps the blood around the body. So now you've got this acid in your blood. What's happening is, every time your heart beats,
pumping it around the body,
it's pumping poison around the body. So the blood should be the river of life, but what's happened to most people, it's now become their river of death.
Wow, I love that. That's powerful.
Not even breathing correctly. When I first got into what I'm doing now, I had a company where I was bringing acrobatics to some of the world's biggest shows. Where I do contracts with the Royal Opera House, the Royal Albert Hall, X Factor, Britain's Got Talent. If pop stars and rock stars are putting like 80 to 100,000 people in a stadium, I was the guy to get the call to bring the acrobatics to the show. Now, based on a gut feeling, because when I started talking about this stuff 20 odd years ago, people like, that Skip's got a good story, but holy shit, this dude's off with the freaking fairies, the way he talks about energies and frequencies and all this stuff. So I stopped talking about it. I went in the business world. That was my business. We became really successful. And then I started getting this calling to bring back these teachings. And it came from within. It came from me tuning into something within me. And everyone around me was like going, hang on a minute, Skip. So your company's doing a couple of million every single year now. You're flying with it. You're loving it. But you're going to stop doing this, and you're going to start telling people that they need to start breathing correctly. If you lost the and I'm like, but this is what people need. And they go, but it's not how you build a business. I'm like, screw the freaking business. How about we start doing what we're passionate about? Because if you're passionate about it, that passion is going to electrify you. And then when that electrifies you, you can turn anything into a business.
Absolutely.
If you're adding value to people. Now, what we're adding to people is more life. So the first thing is, I know it sounds so stupid, but you've got to start breathing correctly. And we've got to start doing these deep diaphragmatic breaths, because nothing is going to alkalize the body more than oxygen. There's nothing more that can do it. Now, the second thing is...
more air.
The what?
The more air. So they need more oxygen into their body to start off with, number one. Good.
Yeah. Right. Now, if you don't understand more air, you ain't going to become financially independent. For you guys, more air in body, make it happen. Now, what I want people to understand as well is that, look at a baby, the way a baby breathes. You'll never see a baby do short, shallow breaths. So we've been encoded to breathe correctly. Now, if anybody's got kids and you hear kids scream, they're not losing their voice. How come? Because they're doing it from their diaphragm. They breathe down here. Like when we were doing a lot of stuff with the Royal Opera House, these singers are unbelievable. They blast stuff out because no one's mic'd up, because at the Royal Opera House, it's all acoustic. So no one's got mic'd up. There's not coming out, speakers and stuff. And they have to project. They never lose their voice because they're doing it from here. When you breathe down here, so much magic happens in the game of life and within within their own mind and body. Now, the second thing is, so all babies breathe naturally, but you look at most people, adults, they're not breathing correctly anymore. So we've got to learn how to just literally take a couple of minutes out every hour or so, like set your alarm for once an hour and just breathe deeply for 2 or 3 minutes. The mind's not going to want to do it. The mind's going to want to carry on with what it does.
Yeah.
You start to do that. What you're doing is you're rebalancing yourself. When you're balanced, you make better decisions. So the second thing that I'm going to suggest people do is something that kids do a lot. They don't stop moving. And when I ask kids, you know, I'm like you, I get to travel all around the world every single month. I'm in a different time zone. And while I'm on these trips, quite often I'll get asked to go and speak at schools or to do something, you know, with kids.
Nice.
And when I say to kids, like, why are you moving so much? In a playtime, you go out in the playground and you're running around, you're being aeroplanes and you're doing all this stuff. Why? And I'm doing it like I'm telling them off. And they look at me like, what are you asking? It's a dumb question like that for. I said, why are you doing it? And they're like, because it feels good. Dun, 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 dun.
There we go.
Number 2. Move your body in a fun way.
Yeah.
Because this body was created to move. And a lot of people are now getting stuck up in their minds. They're going into fear and they can't get out their mind with thoughts. So something we can do is we can move our body in fun ways. Now, if people are confined to a chair, bung on a song that is energizing. Bung on a song that you like. At least you can start to move your arms. You can do something. If you can get up and start to shake your freaking ass, do it. Because when you move your body in these fun ways, these endorphins, they get released from the mind. It sends a chemical out throughout the whole system and you are instantly going to feel good. You go back to your problem or your challenge or your responsibility, whatever it might be, all of a sudden, you're going to be going back with more energy. All of a sudden, you're going to be going back with more awareness because now you're plugged into more of the truth. And this is what I want people to understand. Energy is going to win every single time. If you want the energy of the mind to win, you are screwed up because the mind was designed to keep you in your comfort zone. The mind's designed for survival purposes. But what we know, because of the spirit element of what we are, life begins outside your comfort zone. That's why children are learning so fast compared to most adults. They're like sponges. They're just like sucking all this information in. What would happen if we could do that as adults? So the first thing is start breathing correctly. 2-3 minutes, just get that oxygen in your belly every single hour. Second thing is bung on a song, bung on something that's going to get you up and shaking your tushy. Move that body because the body was created to move. Third thing is, and entrepreneurs who are stuck up in their head might have a challenge with this. If you challenge with this, great. Because in our challenges are our answers, and our challenges are our solutions, is to start to look at life through the eyes that children look at life. Because children still have that wonder. Children have more energy than most adults. Children are in the moment more than most adults. Children learn faster than most adults. Children have a lot more joy than most adults. Children go and connect with other people and things like animals in humane ways more than most adults. And when we can become not childish, but childlike in our approach to life, then all of a sudden, when you with a child and they see an airplane in the sky and they're like, oh my God, it's an airplane. That wonder, that magic that breathes through them, that is very, very high frequency. Now, this is what I want people to understand when it comes to law of attraction. You can only attract things in the same frequency that you're vibrating in. So if you're vibrating in a frequency where you're a victim, if you're vibrating in a frequency where you're a poor me, if you're vibrating in a frequency where you feel like you've got your back up against the wall and there's nowhere to go, guess what? You're going to attract things that's going to feed that experience, and it's going to be fed in a negative way. We do those 3 things that I've just suggested. Already you're jumping up this vibrational ladder. Already you're starting to plug into a higher state of consciousness, And the beautiful thing about it is it's play. Too many people are taking work too seriously. We now know that there are studies done around the world, and there's been enough of these studies done now, that the first sign of a heart attack in today's world now is the heart attack. There's no precursor. Now, when do most heart attacks happen? You've heard this story. You know the answer to this.
Yeah, heightened periods of stress, typically.
But there's a specific day and a time. Do you know when that is?
On a Monday morning on the way to work.
Monday morning, but around about 8:30 to 9 o'clock. That's when most people have heart attacks. Why? Because there's no love in what they do. They don't enjoy what they do, and they take that vibration, they take that energy, they take that with them wherever they go.
And that's compounds over time, right? It just compounds and compounds until...
And we're disconnecting from the body down, we're disconnecting from our love, and we're getting trapped in the mind. Because what kids do is they bring love to the table.
Correct.
They bring truth to the table. And if we can start to bring love, and this is not namby-pamby, because love is the highest frequency. And this is the numbers. I want people to understand these numbers, because especially a lot of male entrepreneurs that, you know, we're very masculine, we're very driven, we're very systemized. But if we're not lit up in the journey, there's no point doing it, because your game of life comes down to what you're experiencing on a daily basis. Yes, we need to know what destination we're going, but we want to make sure that we're lit up on the journey, that we become more on the journey. We're getting the results that we want on the journey. So when we start to bring love to the table, what happens is, when you go from thinking and this is one of the things that Bruce Lee taught me, like when I was told, never going to walk again, you're going to spend the rest of your life in a wheelchair. And I go through that experience and end up finding myself about 18 months after standing on the podium, being given the gold medal for the English Sports Acrobatics Championships.
Wow.
The only reason that was able to happen is because I plugged into the body, the mind, and the spirit. Most people are plugged into their mind and their body is suffering, and their spiritual aspect, forget that. That's just something from the past. So what we've got to learn how to do is fuel all three in a balanced way. Now, the easiest way to do it, where we can drop from the mind and we can come back into the heart, is to understand what our science is now telling us. Magnetically, when you go from a thought process into your heart, and this is what Bruce Lee taught me, don't think, feel. We can start to feel what's real, because your gut feeling, your inner guidance system is never going to let you down.
No.
That's why it's there. And the ancients used to say, our second brain is in So what we've got to make sure we do is we drop into our heart and we put love, first of all, into ourselves. Because if you're not loving yourself, can you expect anyone else to love you?
Game over. No, you can't.
Falling in love with ourselves, not from an egotistical point of view, but this is going to sound namby-pamby, but trust me, guys, you do this. This is how you set yourself free. When's the last time? Because gratitude is such a high vibe as well. And if we can't be grateful for the things that we've got in life now, then those mechanisms that go around gratitude, if they're not spinning, you can have all the riches in the world and there's no gratitude. Guess what? You can have millions and millions. You're still going to be emotionally in the same place.
Yeah.
What we get taught is that the quality of our life comes down to the quality of the emotions that we feel on a daily basis. So we want it to be positive vibes. So what we're being told is that when we go into our heart, magnetically, now, is it possible? Now you see this. You are someone who has learned your craft well. You've helped many people around the world. And what happens is, it's like you become this magnet and you start attracting people to your teachings, to your message, to your events. Because now what's happened is, as you get better and better and better, your charge is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that means that your pull, your magnetic pull, becomes more powerful. Listen to this, brother. When you go into your heart from your head, you're 5,000 times stronger magnetically. Not twice.
Wow.
5,000. Listen to this number.
That's huge.
This one freaking knocked me. It pulled the rug from under my feet, because I was like, this can't be real. I went in to do my research around it, and there was a lot of people dissing it online, and I had to go through layers and layers and layers of research to get to the truth, because online, just because you read it online doesn't mean it's real. There's a lot of manipulated stuff getting online. Electrically, we're an electrical system. We're on the hunt for electricity 24/7, just like, with our phones. When our charge goes down, what do? We just plug it in. It's no big deal. We don't need to stress, just plug it in. But some people, when they're disconnected or they haven't planned, oh my God, I've only got 5% battery. Oh my God, has anyone got a charger? Oh my God, they're in this state of panic, and they've just gone and screwed up their life because they didn't forward plan. Now, when we understand, like these phones, we need a charge to work, because you can have the most amazing phone, but if there's no charge, you're not going to get anything out of it. We're exactly the same, but we are walking trees of intelligence, and we're not physically rooted to anything. We can get connected to the energy of the planet. We can get connected to the energy of the universe. We can get connected to the energy from within us. And when we drop down to this energy center, this heart space here, electrically, we can be 100,000 times stronger.
Fucking hell, that's mad.
Dude, that was my response when I heard. I was like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this can't be real. These have got to be a bunch of freaking weirdos and woo-woo people saying this. Dude, this thing that keeps beating without us giving it a single thought, this thing that keeps beating, I mean, if people understood what was going on inside their body right now, they would understand that they're a miracle. Like literally, as I do this, boom, everyone watching this, we've all just had about 5 billion liver cells die. Well, that's really inspiring, Skip. A part of us has just died. Yes, a part of you has died, but guess what happened? 5 new billion liver cells just emerged. So now there's a new you coming through. But what the body has to do now is to eliminate the waste of those 5 billion liver cells that just died. What's happening in people's bodies now is, because of the lifestyle change, because of the lifestyle that they live, because of the fear that's coming in, their energy levels are so low, and the body isn't able to get rid of the toxic waste. Yeah. So what's happening is, inside the body, this toxic waste is being built up and built up and built up. For some people, it starts to block their tubes. For other people, it might go and build a lump in the system. For another one, it might go and stop an organ from working well. For another one, there might not be enough blood supply to their eyes, so their eyes start shutting down. All of the body's mechanisms start shutting down, and people go, oh yeah, but that's because I'm getting old. I'm like, bullshit, it's because you're getting toxic. That's all it is, brother. We remove toxicity, but the toxicity, it comes from many different forms. We can have toxic thought. We can have toxic emotions. We can have physically, we can have toxicity within the body that builds a lump. We can have so much crap happening to us that our own choices are starting to rip life away from us. Yeah. So what we've got to do is understand that nature has such a divinity to it. Nature, I believe, has all the answers. Why? Because there's a perfect harmony in nature. Yeah. It was beautiful before humans came here. And true, we made part of it even more beautiful, I believe. But now what's happening to the human race is that we're meant to be the most intelligent species on the face of the planet, but now we're the only species on the planet that's now contributing to its own destruction. Now, what that means is that the lifestyle that most people are living is in destruction. And if we can't get ourselves in alignment between our body, our mind, and our spirit, there's no way that your life is going to be in alignment. You might get, you know, like Greg, you might have all the money on one side, but inside at a certain level dying. Yeah. We connect you to that truth. All of a sudden, you watch what happens to his business now. He's got the chances to 10x his business this year. Yeah, he's now operating at a high level. So what we have to do is take back this, take back that control, take back what our sovereignty is, take back the truth, because in that truth there isn't the fear. In that truth, there are solutions that we can come out of this challenging situation that people are going through, and that's happening on a global basis. And we have the chance to come out empowered. So I know there was 3 things in there. There was a couple of other bits that went in there, but I felt that we had to drop it in there, because if we don't connect to that loving aspect of who we are, we're not connected to the truth. And it's a valuable lesson. It's not namby-pamby. Love is the glue that glues the whole universe together. Love is what glues tribes and families together. Yeah. If we're disconnected from that love and we go into fear, this is where you see great relationships break down, or you see great families break down. Because in those moments, they're disconnected from the truth, and they all start making their decisions from fear or for control. Yeah. And what we've done is we've got sucked in to the love of power, and what we've got to get back to is the power of love. But in that power of love, we're talking freedom in the mind, freedom in the body, having a strong body, having a strong mind, having a balanced body, a flexible body, a balanced mind, a flexible mind, having all this energy pulsing through, so that when we connect to our families and our personal life and our business life, those areas get more life and they get more solutions because we found them from within ourselves. So when we connect to that, oh my God, you know, I want to see, like, you know, your people who are listening to this, just by them trying those little things, immediately it can literally shift what they focus on. It can shift how they think. It can shift who they become as a person. So yeah, I'm praying that this becomes the biggest wake-up call that humanity's ever seen.
I think it is, brother. And you know, yeah, just to recap for everybody, like just to kind of summarize, because like Skip, you gave so much value there, and I think everybody's like listening can probably frivolously taking notes or whatever they're doing, which is great. And just to recap, so like that, your top tips are number one, breathe properly, get the oxygen in, deep breathing in from the gut, from there, from the diaphragm. Number two, move. Shake your ass, literally, like put on some music and
let me just
move.
go back, Jeff. Let me go back. Number one, I want to link number one with the thing at the end. What I want to do is link the breathing. And when they're doing the breathing, the most important thing is to think about something, someone that you love in life. Because if you're breathing and you're now remembering, well, you know, oh my God, I'm so grateful to love my kids. I'm so grateful to love my parents. I'm so grateful to love my lover. I'm so grateful to love this pet. I'm so grateful to love the people that are in my company. You know, whatever it is, when you find things that you can love and you can breathe that into the body, those are going to become some powerful breaths. So breathing for 2 or 3 minutes, focusing on something that you love. It might be something you love about yourself. No matter what it is, we're looking for the frequency of love to be breathed into your physical being.
So love, think of something that you love or someone that you love while you're breathing. Move, I think get the body moving because it was made to move. And obviously the other one, which you said, which I actually say to all of my clients, which is be more childlike, not childish. I always say that to my clients, and like you've articulated, which is, you know, like how can we tap into that inner child and be more obsessed with getting our outcomes, be more, you know, happy about stuff, be, you know, less filters, no judgments, all that kind of stuff. Like, and I think as you know, this brother, like we are born strong, we learn to grow weak, right? And this is the challenge that a lot of people have. So, you know, I love that you share that with everyone, because I think people in this tough time, like, because like, look, we're doing this video specifically because we've got this big thing going on around us at the moment where people have contracted into this scarcity mindset around business, around their own personal health and their own welfare. And, you know, it's sad really, because we, like, literally last month we were going on about be kind. There was this whole be kind movement, and now everyone's going screw everyone else. It's all about number one. And that's such a closed way of thinking. And like you just said, people like, you know, who are wanting to grow their businesses right now, you know, I always say to people, you cannot possibly grow something you are not in love with. There is no way in hell you are going to grow a business that you are not in love with, because at the moment, most people's businesses, they're going crap, don't have any clients, or people are not coming, not spending money, or this and that. How could you possibly grow something that you're not happy with? So it's a big disconnect. So it doesn't matter what I teach you, you're not gonna grow it. So fall in love with it again. Like, how can you fall in love with what you're doing? You know, that feeling you got when you first launched your company, like, how can we reconnect with that? Because that's what's going to make you grow it, not, you know, trying to grow something that you're not happy with. It's just your brain isn't programmed to do that. It's programmed to protect you. So how can you possibly do that? So I think this is a big wake up call.
I think Richard Branson says a quote: when you fall in love with your work, you never work a day in your life.
Absolutely. That is it. And funny enough, you know, I think it was last year with obviously Success Resources and Veronica and all that. They invited me along. I don't know if you were there, bro. I don't know if I saw you there when Robert Kiyosaki came over and they had the dinner with him and all that kind of stuff. And he said, you know, something great. And I thought, you know what, this makes perfect sense. He said, it's not about just being passionate about what you do. He says, like, because obviously he's a God-fearing man. So he's like, God knows the world is messed up and he wouldn't like it to stay that way. So what can you do that not only are you passionate about, that you get paid really well for, but makes this world a better place? And I thought, wow, do you know what? That's what we get to do as trainers, as speakers, as influencers. Every single day we get to live that. We get to do what we love, we get paid for it respectively because there's a fair value exchange, and we get to make the world a better place. And I don't know any job, if you want to call it one, that gives you that level of satisfaction on those three levels. So powerful. And that's why I say to business owners, like, if you're not in a business that doesn't make other people feel good or contribute to the wellness of others or contribute to, you know, the bettering this planet and this world, then you shouldn't be in business at all, because you are never going to vibrate on that frequency. Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah, I agree 100% what you're saying. And your teachings are, you talk about timeless wisdom here. You know, you're about making the world a better place because you've gone through a challenge, or you've seen a need in the marketplace, or you've seen something that's going to add value to people's lives, and you work out how to get it to them, and you work out that there's a fair exchange with that. All of a sudden, you systemize that. You got a business that can be making money while you're sleeping. Where I come in is even before that. So I deal with the individual person, because what I say is that you can't put life into your business until you've learned how to put life into you. So the first thing we've got to learn how to do is fall in love with ourselves. This is not egotistical. This is about saying, you know what, this physical thing that allows me to pick up experiences in life through my five senses, because it's through the five senses that we absorb life. And if we don't learn how to be appreciative, like simple little things like, most people don't thank their eyes for some of the most amazing things that they've seen.
It's true.
Stupid. Someone will open up a door for you and you go, oh, thank you very much. And you go, you cultivate an attitude of gratitude. But if you go and see something beautiful, if you go, oh my God, eyes, you just freaking gave me this.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. What you're doing is you're communicating to a part of you, just like you would communicate to your employees. You're not going to beat your employees up if they've just done something good. You're not going to not acknowledge them if they've just done something good. It's like, you know, if we go and hear something in nature, or we hear a beautiful piece of music, or we hear, you know, someone might whisper something in our ears that just makes me, oh my God, I freaking love this.
Yeah.
You go and thank those ears for doing their job. Watch what starts to happen to the very thing that you're in.
Yeah.
You start activating yourself at levels where you're now getting more switched on. Like, I'm in the middle of coaching John Lee at the moment. And John is, you know, saying to me, he goes, oh my God, what you're doing with me. He said, when you first started bringing in all these suggestions, I'm thinking, oh my God, what the hell have I got myself into? But the lifestyle that I had before, it wasn't sustainable. So already now, he's only 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in, 2 or 3 weeks in to the protocol that I've introduced to his life. His energy levels have gone up. He started losing weight. His team around him are saying, dude, what the hell are you doing? And he goes, I've just got more energy. I'm just not breaking down in the ways that I did. And it's because we're now plugging him into the truth. So one of the first things that I'd like people to have awareness around is what's happening when people do this. Because this is how insane stuff has got. Where I said to you at the start of this, where in supermarkets now, toilet rolls aren't on the shelves, tin stuff is not on the shelves, processed stuff like pasta and all this stuff that I've mentioned so far is dead.
Gone.
But all of that stuff is gone. All the alive stuff, the fresh produce that's had the energy of the sun shining on it, it's had the energy of the planet, it's
still there.
It's all still there. So we can see that the brainwashing that our TV, our government, all these people that say, oh, we've got the backs of our English people, we're here to support you. Well, how about giving them some information so that they can learn how to become the antidote to give themselves what they need, so their immunity is going to get boosted up so that no virus could get it, because a virus is such a low frequency. And that frequency down here is going to get the ones whose immunity is
down there.
If we learn how to raise up our immunity to a higher frequency, this virus, it just can't get it because it's in a different frequency. It's like saying to you, like, this is how I want people to understand it from a frequencies point of view. Now, back when I was growing up, if we listened to the radio, we had turnstiles. We didn't have buttons that we could press. So if I was listening to the radio and I didn't like the song, what am I going to do? I'm going to turn the dial and I'm going to change the frequency. Now we got rid of dials, there's a button to press to change the frequency. So I just press the button and I'm like, let's say that I hate rock music and rock music comes on. I'm not going to carry on listening to something I don't like because it's poison me. So I push a button and all of a sudden I get a different channel, same receiver. I'm just tuned into a different frequency. So now I have a different experience.
Correct.
Now I'm listening to a song that I love. I'm listening to a song that I can get into. Body starts moving. Good vibes are in the body. I'm feeling good. Life's all good again.
Yeah.
Challenge is most people are tuned into a frequency now around fear. They're tuned into a frequency that is taking the power away from them. What I want to do through these 4 online masterclass series that we're giving away, all people have got to do is click that link, register, and you can go and watch all the replays completely for free. Is you're going to learn how to tune your frequency into these higher states of consciousness. And a lot of it is going to be remembering a lot of the stuff that we've forgotten about. And by because people go, oh yeah, but I know that. I know you know it, but you're not living it.
Yeah.
And it only becomes wisdom because you've heard the saying a gazillion times. What's going on around the world now is people are drowning in all this information, but what we need is people to awaken up to the truth. And the only way that we can awaken to the truth so that we can start living with wisdom is when we embody it, we live it, we become the living example of someone what's possible. Because say like with John Lee, he's already got people around him going, what the hell are you doing? And he goes, well, I'm doing this, this, and this. They start doing the same. And he goes, Skip, I don't get it. I'm already transforming people on this level. I'm like, I know, because you're now being a living, breathing example of what's possible. And when people see it, they're like, I want it. I want some of that stuff. What we all want is more life, more energy, but a focused energy, not like a child energy where they've got all this energy and they spin out of control. It's about having that energy, but now we focus it into what's important in our life. What is life giving? How are we going to make somebody else's life better? Because now we've got this abundance of energy that wants to breathe through us and we can use it. That's the difference between connecting to personal will and connecting to divine will. What our planet has the chance to do now is wake up in the fastest time possible. And the only way we can do that is by plugging people into the truth.
That is so true. And from a business perspective, because a lot of people come to me and say, like, they want to make more money, right? Like loads of people, like, I'm sure people who come and work with you, Skip, look, yeah, I want to grow my business, so I want to make more money, I want to do this, I want to do that. But I always say to people, like, you can't go around saying that you want to make more money, yet when someone drives past in a Ferrari, you go, look at that rich twat. Because you're disconnected. Like, subconsciously you want more money, but unconsciously, subconsciously, you're actually repelling it. So there's a disconnect, right? So like, it's the same in business at the moment. People are saying, I want to grow my business, but subconsciously they're fearful and scared and all this kind of crap. So it's the frequency. I love the way you described that about changing the radio station. Like they are not on the right wavelength right now. And like, so for me, if anyone's listening to this right now, and obviously we're going to wrap this up very, very shortly because you guys are getting so much value here. But you know, if you're listening to this right now, highly recommend you 110% take advantage of Skip's generous offer, because you're clearly, you know, I know he sells this for a lot. In terms of, you know, this is why I love the fact that you spoke about having responsibility. I think people like us who have a responsibility to the humankind, I think it's important that we look at how we can pour back into that. And at the moment, I think that resource, you know, those masterclasses, yeah, if you're listening to this right now, click on a link, get hold of that first and foremost. Press reset on your mind, your body, your soul. Press reset on all of that stuff. I would then ask you to really, really revisit what you're doing at the moment in business, because I believe every business should be reinventing itself every 2 years anyway, at least. And some of you listening to this right now are well overdue your reinvention. And guess what? As they say, if you don't move on life, life moves on you, right? And let's just be honest. I think coronavirus has come for the good. I know it sounds crazy. People are going to go, hey, what are you on about? People are dying. But that's not the point. The point is that, you know, there's always good in every bad situation. The problem is people are not looking at that at the moment. For example, the media talks to you about all the people who've died, all of these people who've died. Well, hang on a minute. As of yesterday, they didn't speak about the 70, I think it's like 77,000 odd people who have recovered from coronavirus. They haven't spoken about that. They've spoken about the 7,000 people that have died. Like, it's mad. So unfortunately, we're living in that age where we're being fed bullshit. And I think it's important to reset yourself, like the way, you know, you're going to help them with that, Skip. That's brilliant. Secondly, what I would say to you is now really reevaluate your business model, because clearly this has been sent to wake you up. And, you know, if you haven't figured out a way yet for your business to work, whether you are there or not, if you haven't figured out a way to meet your clients' other needs and problems that they have, because guess what? They're going to need help still. You know, if you're not reevaluating any of that, then look, business isn't for you, because you've got too comfortable. And, you know, I'm glad we're sharing all this stuff with people. I think like definitely my crowd are going to enjoy this stuff so much. And I think it's important that in this time we give back. And I'm grateful for you for taking the time out, Skip, to give back to everyone who's listening. And obviously we're going to get them to click the link. For people who want to follow you, my man, like obviously, like, you know, we live in a world of social media, and clearly, if people are going to be on lockdown, they're going to be spending a lot more time browsing. I'll tell you that. So, you know, how can they connect with you otherwise? Like whether it's, you know, social media or whatever. Like, you just let everybody know, buddy.
Awesome, thanks, bro. So basically, we're going to start posting a lot of stuff out on social media to do with, you know, really taking back control and giving people, like, you know, because everyone's looking for the instant hit on social media. They're looking for that instant dopamine hit.
Yeah.
We're going to start playing on those platforms with a lot more value. So it's just Skip Archimedes on Instagram.
Yeah.
Skip Archimedes live on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they can come and connect with us. The same Skip Archimedes on YouTube as well.
Brilliant.
If they want to be on the database, they can just go to skiparchimedes.com. They can register there. We've got some more free gifts that people can go through. We've got lots of free gifts that we've just loaded on the platform so that people can really get the best. But what I highly recommend above everything else is just click that link that's somewhere around here, because those 4 masterclasses, we go straight to the point. Each one is about an hour.
Yeah.
And what you're going to find is that by the time you get to the end of that hour, you're going to be like, wow, that has just made me look at things in a completely different way, because they're not going to learn the solutions on TV. They're not going to learn the solutions on social media. They're not going to learn the solutions on in the magazines and the newspapers. So this is why, you know, with the team, I just said, guys, you know what? I know we spent money doing this. I know we said we were going to charge X amount of money. I just want to give it to people because they are in need right now. And amazingly, everyone was like, thumbs up, let's just do it. And I'm like, this is sweet. So there's no resistance around us wanting to serve. And it's like what you said, when we take on that responsibility to either be a speaker, to be a, you know, somebody who is a mentor, is a coach, then it's our duty to be able to serve at the highest level. So I want to say to my lot who are watching this, you know, if you are somebody who is either in business or you're thinking of starting a business, check you out. So how do they find you, my friend?
Thank you. Appreciate that, brother. And yes, look, if you're someone right now, look, what I want to say on that before we wrap this up is something very, very important, because Skip, you touched on this a little while ago, and you said, like, in the economic downturns, more millionaires and more businesses are created because people understand how to ride that wave and ride that frequency. So I'm saying to you right now, if you're someone who's been sitting on your backside waiting to launch your business right now, if this isn't a big enough smack on the head, then you know what? Maybe business isn't for you, right? Just don't worry about it. And if you're running a business right now and perhaps you are uncertain of what's going to happen next, you're uncertain of how your business is going to grow, or you're having strong challenges, or maybe you want to grow your business through this time, then look, just reach out to me. Either like go to jessenjames.com and just check out what we're doing on our website there, or follow me on social media. So at Jessen James Official on Facebook, at Jessen James _official on Instagram, at Jessen James 7 on Twitter. And if you just search for Jessen James on LinkedIn, you can reach out to me there as well. And YouTube at Jessen James Official as well. So look, there's plenty of ways to reach both of us. And I think this is not going to be the end of us doing some stuff together, brother. I think there's going to be a lot more that we're going to do moving forwards. But I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that we've been able to touch base today. Listen, anyone who's listening to this, listen, grab the opportunity. Skip's been very generous with what he's offering. And look, that's what great leaders do. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for doing that. Everyone who's listening, click on the link somewhere. And obviously, if you're listening to this or watching this on whatever platform, please do us a favor. You know, the biggest gift you can give someone right now is actually letting them hear this message as well. So please feel free to share the link, share this video, share this recording, whatever platform you're listening on. Let's do the right thing and give back to everybody else by sharing this powerful, powerful message. So Skip, my man, thank you so much once again for coming on the call. Appreciate you, bro, taking your time out. during this time to pour back into everyone. And listen, stay in touch, stay tuned, and we are going to ride this wave and come out stronger, right? So thank you so much, my man. Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
You're a legend, man. It's been such an honor. And like you said, I've got no doubt this is going to be the start of so many great things, because it takes greatness to appreciate greatness, and you're a legend, brother.
Oh, bless you, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Take care.
You too.